Find your shoulder width. Make sure you are actually finding your shoulder width. The trouble is after you've been doing it for a while, you kind of get a bit lax and sort of like, oh, I know what my shoulder width is. That's fine if you're really comfortable with it. But what's important is making sure that you actually find your shoulder width and test. So turn at the toes, turn at the heels. That's your natural shoulder width. What we tend to do is we'll let it drift a bit further because that might feel a bit more comfortable. But we'll just stick to shoulder width for now. So feet together, turn at the toes, turn at the heels. And then really paying attention to what's going on with the soles of the feet. So try not to let the knees drop in or coming up onto the sides of the foot. You're allowing the foot to spread out onto the ground. Now we go on about the alignments. So we're opening ankles, knees, hips, dropping tailbone, tucking chin, suspending head. But now what you're doing, you know all of that. You've heard me say it lots and lots of times. And now it's time to start paying attention to that and looking at what it actually means for you in terms of the comfort of standing. So as you're standing, you're looking for any errors in the way you stand, if you like, and there will generally be lots of them because we build up these errors over the course of a lifetime. So things like leaning to one side, or you've got too much weight on one leg and not as much on the other, so you're trying to correct that so you're evenly spaced. Another thing we do is we'll tilt the pelvis, so it'll either tilt one way or the other, or it'll be pushed forward, or the bum sticks out. So it's sort of correcting all those errors so that the tailbone can drop and you can open the lower back. One of the hardest ones is suspending the head. Now, you hear the term suspend the head, but what on earth does that mean? What you're looking for is a feeling of opening in the cervical spine. So as the spine comes in and drops into the occiput, you're looking for anywhere where there's compression, where there's tension, or where there's misalignment. So what we tend to do is you tuck the chin in, but the head comes back. So you're leaning back or you're leaning forward, stooping. My one is that I tend to be tortoise-necked a lot. So I need to correct that by coming upright and keeping the head so it should feel as though it's suspended and there should be no compression in the cervical spine. Once you've got that, you can adjust the shoulders and make sure they're not leaning too far forward. You'll hear people talking about in Tai Chi the hollow chest. So the hollow chest means that the shoulders are very slightly rounded and slightly forward. But people will sort of like push their shoulders forward and sort of walk around like that. Oh, I've got a hollow chest. But all that does is it tightens up the sternum and locks up the ribs. So it's relaxing, releasing the rib cage, releasing the shoulders and allowing yourself to stand there. So all of these things, they take time to start working out what it is you're doing. And you need to just find one thing, pick an area, and then start to work on that. So a good one to start with is the arms. What we tend to do with the arms is we lift them without realizing it. And there's a compression that goes on with the muscles pulling tight, locking up the joints. So the arms, the sockets, the shoulder sockets just rest in, the ball joints rest in the socket, and the arm becomes heavy and hangs down. So you're using the weight of the arm to stretch out the joints, relaxing and releasing the muscles as you go. And then when you've got all of that, you allow your mind to sink into the body, and it is an allowance. You're not forcing it. You're not trying to make your mind sink into the body. You just allow it to happen. If you try and make it happen, you create tension because you're creating an action, and the action itself creates tension. Now, there's nothing wrong with dynamic tension, because if you didn't have that, you'd collapse in a heap. But forcing the mind into the body, forcing the body to open, doesn't help. And then as the mind sinks into the body, we allow ourselves to breathe. So in Buddhism and Taoism, they talk about the the path, the journey. And the journey that they're talking about is you can experience everything that you need to experience in life by turning the mind inside the body. So you're looking to find yourself, if you like. And that's one of the most wonderful things you'll ever hear is know yourself. But what on earth does that actually mean? Because you're here, you know where you are, you think you're here. What we're actually trying to do is get a sense of the physical feeling of being in our bodies, being present, feeling of comfort, feeling of ease. So anywhere where you have dis-ease, anywhere where you have discomfort, you're pulling yourself out of your body somewhere, or you're twisting your intention you've got torque in the body and you don't need that. So this is why standing practice becomes so important if you ever really want to progress with your Tai Chi, because it gives you that opportunity to find and experience standing still in comfort and ease. I'm just going to take a moment just to breathe. As you breathe, you might find that you've got tension in the diaphragm, so just rest your awareness in that area and just allow it just to release, relax and sink. If you have to, you can rest your hands anywhere where there might be tension. Don't try and describe it or explain it, just be aware of it. Rest the attention there. Each time you find tension, it's like unclenching a fist, just let go.